Welcome all, J Baba, brothers and sisters throughout the world, to our Circle of Friends Zoom concert. First of all, I want to give a belated happy birthday to Michael. Happy birthday, Michael! Last week, November 5th, was his birthday. I'm not going to tell you how old he is, but I will say that he and I were born the same day, same year. He was born 2 hours before I was. And I turned 73 last week, so you figure it out.
Does that make you twins?
Anyway, a couple of days ago, we were announcing what Zoom concert we were having, and we're having 3 Zoom concerts in 4 days. Michael's is the first. Tomorrow we have Jim Meyer after our Artie Zoom. This will be Jim's 5th or 6th time. And last time he won the Zoom Award of the Year of Circle of Friends. And you'll probably see him tomorrow and maybe by the end of the year, another more time. Ruth Apple is going to be with us Tuesday. She's one of my favorites, one of my dearest friends, and a very, very entertaining singer. Anyway, Michael is down here with his wife, Jean. He's been here many times. He's come with his family. They're all Baba lovers. We have Gabe and Ian, Ian's wife, Ainan and Lakshman, and their daughter, Julia, who takes after her dad musically. She writes and sings songs herself. When I introduced Michael a couple of days ago, what came to me was, well, with his energy and enthusiasm and excitement, I think he's the, hold on a second. Hey, let's keep it down back there. Anyway, I consider him the Bruce Springsteen of the Baba singing world. But today on Zoom, of all people, in Bombay, Jimmy comes on, he says, that guy's a lead singer for the Rolling Stones. And he does look a little bit like Mick Jagger, doesn't he?
No, he didn't know who he was.
No, that's why he said he looks like the lead singer for the Rolling Stones. Yeah,
that's right.
Anyway, Michael sang one of my favorite songs. That's the, what is it, Michael?
Significance of Life.
That's the Significance of Life. And we dedicated it to Ursula, who's been in a nursing home for 6 weeks, and he has another month to go. But just before we dedicated, Michael sang, the nurse came in, and she missed it altogether. So we called her up, and Michael sang it to her personally. And he's going to sing it one more time tonight. So anyway, anytime Michael comes down here, he volunteers at the Meher Baba Center. He does gardening. He's a master gardener. For 40 years, he and his wife have had edible landscaping, a nursery of fruit trees and vegetables and anything under the sun. And those of us who are from Washington, we have a few of us here from Washington. As a matter of fact, we have number 1 and number 2 singers here from Washington. But Michael used to come up to the Washington area, a 2-hour drive to give concert, to come to Baba meetings and visit his mom and dad. Anyway, Michael says that he's been singing since he was 15 years old. As a matter of fact, shortly after that, I saw him for the first time in the mid-'60s in Wheaton. He was with his band, Michael McConkey and Brothers. So Michael, in his own words, says that singing for him brings out the soul and the heart's content. These are, actually, they're becoming my words because I forgot what he said. But anyway, he wants to release the fragrance of that light. So let's welcome Michael and Cliff accompanying him to release the fragrance of the soul and heart of our spirit, and to release Baba's fragrance of love and light. J Baba, everyone. Thank you for listening. I'm sorry I got so mixed up.
Wow. That was great, Akash. So this is a long way from when I was in 9th grade Christmas. I was 14, and I think my mom and pop got me a reel-to-reel tape recorder, and I wanted to write songs. So I'd go in the closet so my brothers wouldn't tease me, and that's basically where it started. But at 15, I actually sang Jackie Wilson's "Higher and Higher" at some little junior high school in Prince George's County. That was a while ago. So yeah, let's play a song. Music is really more than a song. It opens the heart to set the mind free, but more than that, it unwinds the bindings of the soul. Just the right song is more than nice. It's praying twice, it breaks the ice. It's more than a song. When the words and the tune let your spirit fly. A song, a song, a song. Love is a song. A song, a song, a song. Love is a song. Music is beauty. Dr. Pamela. The love you think it doesn't show. You're so special, so spiritual. I'd like to hang with you sometime to experience the divine. I got a ticket to the afternoon where my heart looks to a familiar you. It may be just us two sharing the world. I don't know. Maybe we can let it flow. Wait, all right. Light on everywhere. Put up the light on me. Put up the light on everywhere. Oh God, I'm always with you. It calls me in the heart because I just always there. Put up the light on me. Put up the light on everywhere. Put up the light on me. Put up the light on everywhere. Put up the light on. It wasn't me, but I can feel you in my soul. Put up the light on. Well, could it be? Meher Baba got up. Put up the light on me. Put up the light on everywhere. Put up the light on me. Put up the light on everywhere. Oh God, remember I'm always with you. The that holds me in the heart because I'm just always there. Put up the light on me. Put up the light on everywhere. Put up the light on me. Put up the light on everywhere. So it was New Year's Eve, and Ian was down here with me. We were at the barn, and it was time to go dancing. I was so excited, and I never made it because he felt so bad that night. My son, he was feeling really bad. And I walked by him, and the only thing he said to me all night was, "You left the So the next morning, after missing that great New Year's Eve at the meeting center, this song came out of that. Good story. Good story.
Good thing you left the light on.
So
all the time.
So after the Mystic Nights, I got into hook, line, and sinker with this hippie movement, and there was Buffalo Springfield and people like that. And I got into a group, and there were 6 singers. Yeah. And we all really had a great time singing Iron Butterfly and all the 70s hits, and it was a lot of fun. They were called Easy, and we
Where
actually
are they?
Bayou in Washington D.C. It was a lot of fun. And from the Bayou, I went to Canada. A friend of mine was going to see Julian Bream as a master class, and I went to this master class. And I ended up staying in Canada, and I fell into this group called the Perth County Conspiracy Does Not Exist. And that was quite an amazing, there was all these singer-songwriters. They shared their knowledge and their love of music. And we kind of toured and did a lot of professional stuff up there. It was the first time I was really made a living by being a musician. I got into vegetarianism and all that because there was a lot of people that had farms, and we'd have these dinners every night at the Black Swan Coffee House in Stratford, Ontario. And that was quite memorable, and it did help me kind of cement my songwriting skills, and I still have wonderful friends up there and people that I still respect and love and admire for their consistency of writing great songs. What are we doing? Oh, I have a brand new song, so I haven't really played it for anybody, and it's a little slow ditty. I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but sometimes I'll take a book of Baba's and there'll be this one place where I just read it over and over, and I may even go back to it a day, for 1 day, for 2 days, for 7 days, and maybe next month, and I just read it again and again. And I've done that enough times that I think it came out in my songwriting. So this is a song about that. I must have read it 100 times, over and over that one fine line. Picked up the book, thumbed through the pages, stopped on a line that was truly outrageous. So many questions left unsaid, so I cracked the book and then I read. Opening the page just by chance, I found an answer with just one glance. Opening the page that seems to live, thoughts like these, enabling me to see millions of people, millions of lines. You set us up for just the right time. When you make your contact, I think it's by chance, but it's beyond understanding your dance and romance. And your only miracle is to be living in us until we see you. Nobody comes close to what you print. You say it all, then you say it again. I walk toward the book without a clue of how my subconscious was drawn to you. And oh, you're the dancer, the romancer to this dream. I go back to these passages from time to time, when I need the warmth of that inner sunshine, when I need to know that you're there with me, even when I live unconsciously of you. And I must have read it 100 times, over and over that one fine line. I picked up the book to remember the rapture and to find the heart that you have captured.
I gotta do the manly thing. Sorry.
No,
Yeah, that's fine.
Still sound good.
While I was in Canada, I decided it was too cold up there, and I read this National Geographic magazine about Belize, and I got, you got to imagine like 5 feet of snow outside, and I'm sitting in this old clapboard house, and I'm trying to eat like Arnold Ehret says, with all these live foods and stuff, and I'm freezing my butt off. And I said, Belize, that's a good place to go. I'll go live in the jungle. And so me and this old truck and my girlfriend, we drive all the way from Canada all the way down to Belize, and I find this place that I read about, where you went hunting for leopards, and no one was there, and it was a little thatched hut between two rivers, and so I stayed there for a while, and then it was between these two rivers, like I said. Well, it rained in August, 23 inches in one day there. And at 3 o'clock in the morning, the palm thatched hut, we had a little tent under it with a floor. Well, the floor started floating, and I kind of thought that something was going on. And it was pitch dark, so you couldn't see a thing. And I actually threw this guitar up on top of the rafters because I didn't want it to get wet. And then Linda went up on the rafters because it was chest high and we couldn't see. The lightning would flash. I looked in her eyes and we kind of said goodbye because we had no idea what was going to happen next. And so we're up there, and I said, I don't feel good about just being up here because you could see the water kind of getting close. And so I jumped in the water to try to find higher ground. And I got caught in briars. Swimming in briars is such a tactile experience. And the water was 50 degrees. Come on, man, it was cold. And again, I was just eating this fruit out of the trees, so I was like getting skinnier and skinnier, and not doing that well with my great idea of how I was going to blend with nature. So that kept on going until I got back and said, I can't find anything for us, and I climbed back into the rafters, and then I was shaking so much that I uncontrollably, I just passed out. And the next morning I wake up and the water's only about thigh high, so it never reached this, and it never took down the shed, the little thatched hut. And then Linda couldn't swim. So there's a whole story. It goes on. It took us 8 days to get back to Belize. It was quite an adventure. And I don't know why I'm talking about this, because I don't know if it has anything to do with the next song. I thought maybe you'd like to get to know me a little bit. Oh, this is a song to Mahara, and I got it from going past Jeannie one night, and she was asleep, and she had a beautiful, content look on her face. And I say, I wonder where she is right now. And the purity of women is. Whew. So this is the song. 12 hours later, she opens the door to all that's transpired of the day, of what she admired grows all around her. The light has found her like a halo, halo, hey, hey, halo, hey, hey, halo, hey, halo. From the night till quiet morning, she will set her heart to mooring, while her soul is free and soaring through the cosmos. The moon speaks and whispers, God is fixed on sisters, the grace of love in the form of a halo, halo, hey, hey, halo, hey, halo, halo, halo. On a sleeping face there is a smile. She goes from place to place as a child. With purity so seamless, she leaves the realms of reason, lights up the stars cause she can, conscious of creation, she soars in exaltation, gathering for the next day. Love is so halo, hello, hey, hey, hello, hey, hello. And on a sleeping face there is a smile. She goes from place to place as a child. Cloistered in the tower, she spends her waking hours. She thinks of him, maybe a brooch she sews. His wish, her ambition, his smile, her intuition. In her heart, in her soul, his love flows. Hello, hey, 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 hello, hey, 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 hello, hey, hey, hello. You know, she's right about that. I can do that. Yeah, the Belize thing. She couldn't swim, but there was this branch that was stuck over the fast-moving river. You know, there was this, and it didn't go all the way, but it went fairly close to the other side. So she started climbing on it, like on top of it, and scooching like this on top. I had already swum over. I was a pretty good swimmer, and I just made it. And then I got this inner tube out of my truck, which was on higher ground, and I tried to blow the inner tube up, but I was so weak that it was just going through my nostrils instead of going into the tire. I finally got it, you know, well enough. My plan was to jump in the river and maybe go, because what happened is she was up on top, but then all of a sudden she slipped over and was hanging like a possum, you know, and the stream was going fast, and she didn't swim, and she was freaked, and she was crying, and she was shaking. And so the inner tube was the best idea that I had at the time. So I ran upstream, jumped in the water, and I went under her. It was really great. I went right under her, and I put my hand out, and she wouldn't drop. But then at the last minute, she did, and we were a little separated because she didn't drop right when. Anyway, I gathered her up, got her on the inner tube. We got across, and I guess we walked about 3 miles down this little highway road, and everything was flooded everywhere. And I see a little shack, and this really big man and this skinny man come out of the shack, and he looks at me and he goes, "I's your guy." And I thought that was really amazing that his name was I's your guy. And the other guy's name was Toto. He was a big guy. And so we hadn't slept off very much all night, so we wanted to go to sleep again. And he put us in this little hut that he lived in. He had a bed there, and you know, kind of like, you know, hay and some burlap. And we slept for a second. It didn't pan out. We couldn't sleep there because the rooster kept jumping up and crowing right in the window. But he said, "Well, we have another little place across the street. Across the road there. We can go over there." And so we go over there and we lay down, and she's on the far corner of the shack, and I'm on the other corner, and we're laying in these beds. And all of a sudden, I'm looking up, and there's these 2 purple snakes going like this. And they're hovering, and they're acting like, "Hi, who do you think you are? We're going to bite you." You know, and I was like, who are they? And anyway, I kind of slithered out of there myself. And Linda followed. We went, we can't go in there. There's big snakes in there. Toto goes over and looks. Toto says, "No snakes, go back. Everything's fine." So I go back and lay down. All of a sudden, from across the floor, both of them come skimming across the floor, and right there, they're looking at me going, "Woo-hoo-hoo." And it's like, what? That was it. My adrenaline had gone. There was nothing left of me. I was so weak. And so the other side of the bed, I was able to go back, and I said, Toto, no, I can't go back there. And they were fair to land, so they were poisonous vipers. So he saw them then. He went back and saw them skither away. So if anybody can get me some water, I'm getting dry. So I wrote this song about that. Your guy gets up at 5, and turns on the radio, and he flies its Swayze River. They will eat you up, I know. Your guy gets up at 5 and turns on the radio. Oh, 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 oh. And he flies in Swayze River. They will eat you up, I know. I hear a guy gets up at 5 and the rooster starts to crow. And he flies its Swayze River. They will eat you up, I know. I have this song on YouTube. It's a video that Kirstiana made with me, and there's lots of pictures of even of the senator and Baba, and if you get a chance to look at it, it's on YouTube under "It's Okay." Soon the tide will ebb again. Soon the moon will chase. A tide I will send to love in another place. When my mind is not one sense, but uses all its tools to change all forecast of fate, so I don't play the fool. And it's the world that's sane, the perfect place to be. We're in a world that's okay with me. It's okay. It's okay to rise above the pettiness, like flying high above the trees, where the air is rich and warm. I will ask, I will beg you please. The world's still sane to me as I look upon the day. I climb a stair that goes nowhere to awake on the master's play. And it's the world that's sane, the perfect place to be. In a world that's okay with me. It's okay. It's okay. You pick me up, you dry me off, you throw me back for more. With each stroke I start to see it's only the tide that's moving me. Only the tide that's moving. And it's the world that's sane, the perfect place to be. In a world that's okay with me. It's okay. 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 Ah, boy.
There's some water right there for you, Mike.
Someone you ordered that.
Right next to you on your right. There's some water. It just appeared.
So when I got back to the States, because I live with people with little grass, with little, thatched homes with dirt floors, I had a whole new idea. And I said to my brother, I said, can I have a garden in your backyard? And he had a long backyard. And he said, sure. And so I took about an acre of his backyard and I built a yurt, a little round yurt. And And then there was a spring rains and his basement flooded and he had all brand new carpet. He gave it to me. So my whole yard inside was carpet. The ceiling, the walls, and the floor. And for 10 years, I actually gardened there and played music and met Jeannie at the Beautiful Day Trading Company. She came in one day with her sister. Her sister had seen me in organic gardening. I didn't know that. There was a big article on my garden in organic gardening. Anyway, so I didn't know I had my foot in the door with this young lady. She came in and she looked very pretty. And I kind of looked at her and thought she was very attractive, but I was busy doing produce. But then she asked for me to cut some watermelon for her. And I obliged, and I said, oh, that's right up my gastronomical alley. And then, with her and her sister, they went up to the counter and asked for carrot juice. I went, that's it. And I said, hello, and we started talking, and then one thing led to another. A year later, we were married. And then I think about a year later from that, Gabe was going to come, and we were living in the yurt. She said, I'm not raising my child in Washington, D.C., sorry. And so with nothing, kind of, we just went to Virginia in the mountains. And I needed a nursery because I was, I needed to sell plants. I needed a job. Anyway, she straightened me out. I kind of got the job. It wasn't me doing it though, if you know what I mean. And you do. So, making a way where there ain't no way is basically how my life kind of painted out in all those years. And then when Ian, our son, at 19, had this, he was found to have a tumor in his head, and we had to go through the agony of touch and go for a few years with Ian. That making a way where there ain't no way, and when you put total faith in me, I dare not neglect you, came really strongly into our family. And so I think through that, okay, you guys are talking too much. Hey, Al. They're talking about their golf game, I think. So here we go with making a way where there ain't no way. If by chance it happens in this world of things that grace should just blend in to each and everything, winging it in this grace, it's not a guessing game, 'cause now you're here in each and everything, making a way where there ain't no way, cutting through this length of change, length of pain, to fly through it all with a heart of wings. I don't see the plan, and let's not overthink this thing, making a way where there ain't no way, cutting through this length of change, length of pain. If by chance it happens in this world of things, life turns over quicker than wind, swinging it in this race, it's not a guessing game, 'cause now you're here in each and everything, making a way where there ain't no way, cutting through this length of change, length of pain. Grace is not bought cheaply in this world of things, ready to serve reluctant to be served quicker than a wink. Do you just take aim or throw a lightning rod? Do you make a potion or just give a nod? Making away where there ain't no way. Cutting through this length of change, length of change. Ain't no pain in there, ain't no pain. So some of the stories, I'm thinking right now of the new life and, walking 50 miles in the hot Indian sun, and the stories of the different Mandali and the sufferings they went through, or Bal being a night watchman and he hits the mosquito, and all these incredible stories that we have. So this is hopefully I'll get this one through. It's about the new life. Here we go. Got us up early in the morning, out on the road by 4:45. You lead and we follow through the labyrinth of time. We seek out all of the god mad. You wash the face, give them grain. You connect all of the dots, and then it's out on the road again. You lead and we follow. You know the way and you know it well. You lead and we follow. If I would lead, I would find only pitfalls. That's why you're leading the way. I'm holding on to your coattails only. It's hot and we're tired, dizzy and stumbling. I'm thinking it's my last step. Then you're there before me, with a twinkle in your eye. Stuff my face with tangerine. Everybody's asleep on their bedding. I'm keeping watch tonight. I sit next to your window. It's dark, there is no light. I'm checking out the bottom of my feet, wondering if my soul wore through. Slap that mosquito on my cheek and oh no, I've awakened you. If only you could awaken me. Sing a song of hopelessness, invite calamities. This is the tenor of the new life. No ties, I know I'm free. Good, bad, extraordinary. What's that mean to me? When you live the new life depending on God wholeheartedly. We are penniless brothers with total dependence on Him. We sing the song of the new life. In the now we learn how to swim. You lead and we follow. You know the way and you know it well. You lead and we follow, follow you wherever I may be. Got us up early in the morning, who's the youngest as a child, and Gabe and Ian. Gabe is in Philly right now, and for anybody that knows Gabe, he's lived down here before. He and Theo are expecting their first child in February. Yep. Jeannie's got pictures if you want to see her phone. And what else? Um, Ian's living about 8 miles away from us. He still struggles with the aftermath of the tumor and all that, but he's got a miracle relationship with Kirstiana and Lakshman, and it's like my blue heaven. It's a beautiful situation, and they're very much in love. It's very sweet. Juliet just released August 21st her first album. If you go to Juliet McConkey, you can hear some of the songs. They're very well done, and she's getting some great reviews. She has been not playing so much. She was living in Austin because most of the venues are struggling, and anyway, she's getting streaming airplay, which is good. And okay, let's do the significance of life, shall we? That's the same as the last song I just played. I don't know if that's the right song.
Just thinking that.
It was just, wait a minute, that's not it. That's not how it goes.
You can always do something different.
Maybe I should do something different, to get out of that, and then I'll get back into that. And Kirstiana, I met Kirstiana. I was walking up the path with Ian toward the gatehouse. I might have been early paying or something or like that. And Lisa, her mother, and Kirstiana were driving down the lane. And Ian and I were in a funny mood, and we were speaking like Australians. So they thought we were from Australia because they never saw us before. And we looked in their car and we went, "Hello, mate," and like that. And then we went on. But later on that night, I sang this song, and Kirstiana, she reminded me that was the first time she had heard me play, and this is the song I played. Crawl inside, crawl right here. I can make you whole. Crawl inside, crawl right here. I'm the one who knows. I'm the one who knows your soul and loves you so. I love you so. Give me all your thoughts and needs, and give me all the things that seem to be. I will keep them here with me. You're free. You're free. What kind of love from you do I ask? Love cannot force you. And if the path you choose is the longer of the two, then that's where I'll be, guiding you, leading you. I am not an old man sitting on a magic cloud. I'm closer than your own breath, and you are my child. And if the path you choose is the longer of the two, then that's where I'll be, guiding you, leading you. Crawl inside, crawl right here. To penetrate the heart and soul of being, to release the fragrance of that light, for the guidance and the benefit of others. That's the significance of life. That's the significance of, that's the significance of, that's the significance of life. And all of the happening entertainment in themselves have no lasting importance, I tell you. Woo. 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 To penetrate that inner attainment, to release the fragrance of that light, truth, love, purity, and beauty. That's absolute worth and that's alright. That's the significance of, that's the significance of, that's the significance of life. And all of the happening entertainment in themselves have no lasting importance, I tell you. Woo. Love has to spring spontaneously from within. Love and coercion can never begin to grow together. True love transforms everyone it touches. This discourse, of course, is sourced from the beloved. The beloved. The beloved. To penetrate the heart and soul of being, to release the fragrance of that light, for the guidance and the benefit of others. That's the significance of life, and that's the significance of, that's the significance of, that's the significance of life. And all of the happenings, entertainment, in themselves have no lasting importance, I tell you. Woo. Woo. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What's next?
How about a drum solo?
And I got it to be.
You know, did your band play that?
Yeah, but I was the front singer. It starts there, but I don't know it. Anyway. Yeah, that'd be great to have a little drum solo. How could I do that?
It's scary, really.
What's at the root of our nature? A soul identical with him. He's looking out your window pane. You just don't know he's within. He's within. He's within. He's your soul. Oh, yeah, he is. Go on.
Spinning that wheel of desire, you'll land on suffering sometime. Then you give that wheel another spin, you'll land on happiness and find it all binds, it all binds, it goes round and round all the time.
Say hi.
Hi, everybody. Say Baba.
Say baba. So we're waiting on Al. Al, wrap it up for us. Or maybe we can get an encore. You think we can get an encore?
I want, let me have your attention for a minute. I want to thank everybody on Zoom, and especially the people that came in person. And there's a couple of things I forgot to say when I was introducing Michael. That is, Michael's put out 3 CDs. His hook, line, and sinker is available at Sheriar Book Room. You can order from Sheriar Book Room. Plus, yesterday he told me he has 30 songs that have not been recorded, so he's working on his 4th CD. Now, for the people that are here, you can see we're all wearing masks except me, and we're pretty well distanced. We run 2 air purifiers and an ozonator overnight. There's nobody on this side of the wing, so the air doesn't get circulated with other people. And we have plenty of room out there. Jim and I were out there. We might have been talking a little too loud. But you have space there for about 8 chairs that can see directly into the room here. So what I want to say is, in 2 weeks, the 28th of November, Bobby Bernstein is giving a concert. And I want all of you who are here now to come and call 3 or 4 of your friends and bring a friend with you. I'm very happy that we had 25 people today. The first concert we had 17. So if we can get 25 for Bobby's concert, maybe even 30, that would be fantastic. Thank you all for coming.